What is art? How many times we heard the question, is this art? With this video, we want to try making this matter a bit clearer. Because if we don't know exactly what we are doing, how can we decide if we are doing right or wrong? An objective evaluation of our work is a very important part of our improvement process. We need to know where we stand now if we want to set the right direction for where we want to go next. Our target with this video and the next one is trying to set the basis for an objective evaluation of our work. In particular, here we're going to discuss the AAA chain, art, artist, and artwork, focusing more on defining in general the parameters involved, while in the next video we are going to see specifically in our case how to use them in order to try evaluating as objectively as possible our work by ourselves. I'm going to start by asking, is this in your opinion art? Well, let me stop. No, this isn't art. Simply because this is an artwork and therefore cannot be art. There is a relation that we're going to define in this video between this fine artwork and the art itself, but this isn't art. So, if this isn't art, is the guy who made it art? And, of course, here we know he isn't because he's an artist. So, what is art? Well, the art itself, in its totality, the word art, has a very wide range of application, and it's like a library full of books where every book describes all the things that the humanity knows on how to create goods, benefits. Benefits for the humanity itself, normally for just one part, but even for a single person. It's important to point out that we have used the terms goods, benefit, and not items or objects, because not all the arts are meant to create something material. Every hypothetical book of this library holds the state of the art on a specific form of art. Like, for example, we have the art of cooking. This is the book that the humanities wrote since the beginning of the humanity itself, with all the things that we know on how to prepare our food. For example, now we know what we can or we can't eat because it's gonna kill us, what tastes or doesn't taste good, how to turn something that doesn't taste really good in something delicious, sometimes just by adding some salt, for example. Now, in the Art of Cooking book, they have wrote all the things that the humanity has discovered in thousands of years on how to bring us the benefit of preparing healthy, tasty, and recently even good-looking food. The art library has thousands of these hypothetical books. For example, there is the art of tailoring with all the things that the humanity knows on how to bring the benefit of making beautiful clothes that keep us warm and make us look good and feel comfortable. In our case, in the art of painting book, humanity has written all the things that we know on how to make paintings. What kind of benefit a painting brings to us? Well, mostly in ancient times, but even now, a painting is a way to leave someone's image to the next generations and be remembered. It's a way to represent religious scenes and bring God in people's daily life. Or it's just a way to make our house nice, hanging on a wall a representation of a nice scenery, a vase of flower, a still life, or anything else that make our houses more beautiful and therefore more livable. These are just some of the benefits that the art of painting brings to the humanity. Of course, there are many others, so we are writing an entire list. Actually, please help us building this list by leaving a comment on this video with the benefit that, in your opinion, the art of painting brings to you or to the humanity. So, at the end, every form of art is meant to create benefits. Doing something that doesn't bring any good to anyone, not even a single person, cannot be considered a form of art. Call it how you want, a waste of time, a waste of resources, but it's not art. Every hypothetical book of the art library including our book on the art of painting, is composed by techniques. Well, this is a general name. Sometimes they call them differently. Like, for example, in the art of cooking, they call them recipes. Every technique has the objective to explain to an artist who has matured the right level of experience how to create a specific benefit. Who has matured the right level of experience because not all the techniques are meant for everyone. There are different levels of difficulty. Like, for example, in the art of cooking, we have the recipe to make this cake, which is probably very easy to prepare and almost everyone can do, and this other type of cake that only a very experienced chef is able to create. Every technique to be considered such must provide to the artist all the necessary information to let him produce the benefit that that technique is supposed to create. So, just for example, it should report the list of the materials and the tools needed. It should explain, describing a sequence of actions, how, using those tools, an artist with the right level of experience can turn those materials into the artwork. Like, for example, in cooking, a recipe should report all the ingredients with the right quantity, all the tools needed, and a description of the sequence of action that we have to do to prepare the dish that we like. To sum up, the art is knowledge. Knowledge expressed in form of techniques on how to create specific benefits for the humanity, one of its part or even a single person. In our case, the art of painting is composed by all the techniques that the humanity knows on how to make paintings. Unfortunately, although to simplify we have described a specific type of art as an hypothetical book holding the state of the art is not held in a book, but it's spread all around the world in thousands of different books, documents, videos, sometimes in an artist's notebook, or just simply in its mind. This because most of the time the benefit that the art creates, it's a matter of culture. It's a local benefit. So, for example, the Chinese kitchen is different from the Indian and the Italian kitchen, and so is the painting. The traditional Chinese painting is different from the traditional Indian painting and the traditional Western painting. So why do we put them all together in the same book and we call them the state of the art? Well, because once the technique has been invented and somehow reported, is at disposal of any person in any part of the world who has access to that technique and is willing to learn it. Let's make the example of the pizza. The pizza is one of the most traditional dishes of the Naples kitchen, but now they make pizza almost everywhere in the world. Chefs from different countries have adjusted the recipe, the technique, to maximize locally the benefit that their pizza provides to their local customers. So, the pizza from Naples now is different from the pizza they make in US or in any other part of the world. All the techniques that we find inside any state-of-the-art collection, the hypothetical book, have been written by the cooperation of two categories of people, the artists themselves and the scientists. A scientist observes a natural phenomenon, study how it works, and find out all the information that an artist needs to develop a new technique to create new benefits or to improve existing ones. In the past, the artist and the scientist most of the time were the same person. Now that our society has learned to work in teams, normally are different figures. In our case, thousands of years ago, one of the first scientists had noticed that by spreading a color fluid on something, after some time the fluid became solid and that something changed its color. Another scientist had noticed that by mixing some colored dust with a specific type of solvent, he could get a similar fluid and change the color of the things. At this point, the artists start to use these new scientific discoveries to develop new techniques to color things. And together they started writing the book of the art of painting. To become part of the state of the art, a technique should have the following requirements. It must have the objective to create at least one benefit of any kind for at least a single person. It should provide all the necessary information to let an artist with the right level of experience creating that specific benefit. And it must somehow be reported, because if it's not reported when the artist dies, the humanity lose the capability to produce that benefit. So let's say that it's a moral duty of an artist who invent new techniques to somehow find a way to report them to the next generation. And then it's the next generation that will decide if one technique is useful or not. At the end, no one knows the complete state of the art, also because the state of the art is in continual evolution. Every now and then we add new techniques, and every now and then we dismiss those that we don't consider useful anymore. Now that we have a better idea on the first A of the chain, the art, let's make a step forward and let's talk about the second A, the artist. We can start by saying that the artist is someone that somehow learns one part of the techniques of a specific type of art and use them to create artworks. So, to be considered an artist, a person must somehow learn and use those techniques to produce benefits. By creating goods for the society, the artist receives his own benefit, like, for example, increasing his wellness. In the case of the painting, to be considered an artist, a person must learn one part of the painting techniques and use them to paint pictures. Now, if we put it in this way, at the end it seems that an artist is just someone who learns something and uses what he has learned to make his artworks. Fortunately for us, this is not the case, otherwise we wouldn't be where we are. Because every artist has two other very important features. The first are his personal skills, and the second is creativity, is ingenious. And these last two are actually what makes the difference between different artists. Since the beginning, according to the type of art and the contribution that they bring to the art itself, we call them with different names. For example, we call chef a person expert in the art of cooking, carpenter a person expert in the art of working with wood, painter a person expert in the art of painting, and so on. We also have found a way to distinguish their level of importance. For example, we call them workers, craftsmen, and artists if, for example, they are very creative and invent many new solutions. To protect the work of the artists and make sure that they keep having personal benefit out of the artworks, the benefits that they produce, and pushing them to keep producing new benefits, our society has in place many laws in matter of intellectual property, like, for example, the laws on the copyrights or on the patents. With the first, our society makes sure that any artwork who brings the benefit to the artist by the sale of a copy of the original artwork can be sold only by the copyright owner, who, in first place, is the artist himself. With the laws on the patent to make sure that an artist who invents a new technique to produce a new benefit for our society is going to report it and make it become part of the state of the art for that specific form of art, our society is granting to the artist the exclusive production right of that artwork for a specific period of time. To get this patent, the artist has to write a document in which, first, he has to describe the state of the art. Second, he has to explain the technique, the detailed procedure on how to produce the good, so that an artist with the right level of experience will be able to recreate it. And at the end, he has to claim what part of this new good is his invention. So, to sum up, an artist learns one part of the techniques of a specific type of art, use them together with his skills and his creativity, is ingenious to produce goods and earn personal benefits. Even, for example, by doing something pro bono, the artist has the benefit to feel good giving back to the society. Now that we finally have a good idea on the second A of the chain, the artist, let's talk about the artwork. The artwork is the result of the work of the artist creating the benefit for the humanity, one part, normally for few or even a single person. Now, let's start to be more specific. For example, the Leonardo da Vinci's Mona Lisa, we could say that it's a benefit for the whole humanity, because almost everyone knows it and everyone can admire it at the Louvre Museum. But at least for those, the part of the humanity who actually go to the museum to watch it, it's an actual benefit, otherwise they wouldn't spend the time and the money to do it. Other paintings less famous are meant to create benefit only for few people, the owner and a strict circle of friends and relatives that are allowed to go to his house and watch them. So, to sum up all the things that we have seen in this video, the AAA chain, we can say that the artwork, who is meant to create a benefit of any kind for at least one person, is the result of the work of the artist, who, to get his own benefit, make it using his skills, his creativity, and the techniques that he has learned studying somehow one part of the state-of-the-art of a specific type of art. At the end, the most important thing of the art is that all the knowledge that the humanity has brought inside the state-of-the-art of every single form of art in thousands of years is teachable. So it can be passed from generation to generation, and every new generation adds its own contribution. So I hope now we all have a better idea on what the art is. Now, our discussion on the art and the AAA chain is complete. In the next video, we're going to see how to use all the things that we have seen here to set the basis to auto-evaluate our paintings and find a way to keep improving. If you enjoyed this video, we will really appreciate if you could click on like and subscribe to our channel. It will also help us very much if you could leave a comment. Thank you for watching this video and see you in the next one.